bim bam, bim bim bam, bim bam, bim bim bam, yabba bim bam, bim bim bam, bim bim bam, yabba bam, abba bim bam, yabba bim bam, bim bam, yabba bam, Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi join. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Rab halayla, Rab shirenu, Abukei b'shamayim, Shuvi Shuvi horatenu, Likudash Shivatayim, Shuvi Shuvi v'nasov ki darkenu v'nasov ki el shelet hashelet, Shuvi Shuvi v'nasov ki darkenu v'nasov, Rab halayla, Rab halayla.
So there. Well, Shabbat Shalom. This is the week of Yom Haatzmaut, the 72nd anniversary of the founding of the State of Israel, which occurred in 1948. And so our entire Shabbat, Kabbalat Shabbat service and program is all designed around Israeli music and Israeli stories and a few prayers, all of which give us an opportunity to celebrate something really great, even though we're in the middle of a time which is anything but great for most of us. So let's continue with our service.
Hachama Merosh, a poem by the great Israeli poet Chaim Nachman Bialik. Rabbi, if you want to say a word about it.
A word about it is that it's one of the most beloved of all Shabbat melodies, and Bialik himself was and is probably the greatest poet that Israel has ever had, and it's been translated into English. Starts out in English: "The sun on the treetops no longer is seen. Come, welcome the Sabbath, Shabbat, our queen."
Hachama merosh ha'ilana nistalkol, bo'u v'nitzei likrat Shabbat hamalkol, hinei yoredet ha'kedosha berucha, v'imam malachim shevat u'menucha. Bowie, Hamalka, Bowie, Hakalom, Shalom Aleichem, Malechei HaShalom, Shalom, Shalom.
We turn now to the blessing of the Shabbat candles. Those of you who have candles at home, you may wish to kindle them along with us as we inaugurate this special Shabbat.
We have a reading to share with you. Come, let us welcome Shabbat. May its radiance warm our hearts as we kindle these tapers.
Light is a symbol of God's presence in our lives. The Eternal One is our light and our salvation.
Light is the symbol of the holiness within each of us. The human spirit is the light of God.
Light is the symbol of the Torah's teachings, for the commandment is a lamp, and the Torah is a light.
Light is the symbol of Israel's mission. As it is written, I have made you a covenant people to serve as a light to the nations.
Therefore, in the spirit of our ancient tradition that hallows and unites Israel in all lands and all ages, we now kindle the lights of Shabbat.
So hopefully you'll join with us. This is a set of, can you see? A set of candlesticks that are from Jerusalem. And we'll use these to light our other Shabbat candlesticks. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivonu להדליק נר של שבת. אמן. בואי מלאכים, בואי מלאכים, בואי מלאכים. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom.
May God bless us with Shabbat joy. May God bless us with Shabbat holiness. May God bless us with Shabbat peace.
Amen. Amen. And good health, strength.
And now if I may have the Kiddush cup, please.
Yes.
Right on cue. And so together we lift our cups of wine or juice wherever you may be. And since we all know my singing leaves a lot to be desired, I expect you to sing with joy and enthusiasm, drowning me out if at all possible. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu V'shabbat kosho, v'yahava uvratzon, hilchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehillah, lemikra'e kodesh, zecher lisiyat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'chata v'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim. V'Shabbat Kodshecha Be'ahava Uvratzon Hinchaltanu Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
L'simcha, l'shalom. L'chaim, shalom alechem. Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We say, come in peace, may peace be upon you, O angels of peace, messengers of the Most High, the angels that bring us a sense of our better selves, our Yetzer HaTov, the angels, the Malachim that usher in a feeling, an aura of Shabbat, no more worries, peace, breath, calm. And we ask the Malachim to enter in peace, and when they depart, to return to us in peace next Shabbat. And with that, this is a little setting of Shalom Aleichem, of the text, which is Yerushalmi, we would say, from Jerusalem. Whether it's an old traditional tune or a newer tune, I do not know. But it's in accordance with the minhag, the custom of Congregation Kol HaNeshama, which I believe is in the heart of Jerusalem. Is that right, Rabbi?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. So I learned it from a teacher who passed it on to a student and reminded me of this great tune. Here we go. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi HaSharet, Malachi Elyon, Bimelech, Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bo'achem l'shalom, Malachi HaSharet, Malachi Elyon, Bimelech, Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bo'achem l'shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Bimelech, Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shuvu l'shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Bimelech, Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitachem l'shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Bimelech, Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You should feel
Okay.
transported to Yerushalayim.
An opening prayer. Creator of the universe, we lift up our hearts to you who made heaven and earth. The infinite heavens and the quiet stars tell of your endless power. We turn from our daily challenges, from its difficulties, its conflicts and its worries, from its clamor and its weariness. We meditate now on the serene calm of your presence that pervades all creation, hallowing our lives with the blessing of Shabbat peace.
Amen.
Source of peace, bless our worship on this Shabbat Eve. Excuse me.
Allergies.
Enlighten our eyes to behold your... Would you read for me, please?
Yes.
Sorry about that,
Source
Mother.
of peace, bless our worship on this Shabbat Eve. Enlighten our eyes to behold your guiding power in all of nature. From the most remote star to our innermost soul, inspire our hearts to love you and to make your will the law of our lives. Source of peace, grant us comfort, comfort in sorrow, strength in trials, and the courage to serve you in all our ways. Chazak, strength and courage. And on this Shabbat evening, may our collective words of prayer and the meditations in our heart be acceptable to you, Adonai our God, Creator, Redeemer, Vinomar, and let us say, Amen.
Amen.
V'imeu, 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 Amen. V'imeu, v'imeu,
Let's continue now as we recite and chant the Baruch Hu and the Shema. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Let us praise Adonai, to whom all praise is due, now and forever.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
And let us now proclaim the watchword of all of Judaism, the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Eternal is our God, the Eternal God is one. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Let us praise God who rules in glory forever and ever.
Shema Yisrael,
Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Love God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Let these mitzvot guide you along the path of life. May they instruct you in your daily tasks. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Place them at the doorway of your house, so that upon entering or departing, they remind you to live by the mitzvot, in order that you may reflect God's holiness through your life. The Eternal One led us out of Egypt to be our God. The Eternal One alone is our God.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha. Ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzvavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם בארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. And we say, Adonai Elohechem. Amen.
There is one particular rule, mitzvah, for Shabbat, which applies so well to all of us, especially at this time, and that is, one is not permitted to be sad on Shabbat. I realize most of us are feeling a little less joyful these days, a little gloomy perhaps, feeling shut in. But just look outside. It's been a beautiful day, a beautiful day. Here we are together celebrating Shabbat. When we're done, you have your computer or your iPhone. Call somebody important to you, or maybe someone who's even not that important.
Eat some challah or leftover matzah.
Eat something. Yes, eat something delicious, and just thank God that we have our health, that there are people out there that are looking out for us, the caregivers, the first responders, all the medics and people in the hospitals and the clinics, and hundreds, if not thousands, of scientists around the world who are working morning, noon, and night to find a solution to this virus that we are all facing. That's a lot to be thankful for and a lot to celebrate on this Shabbat.
A little bit of joy, a little bit of oneg and delight in the Shabbos. Rabbi, your choice, Yismachu or Vishamru? I ask you guys, but I can ask you, but I won't know what your answer is. Let me know for next week. Let us know.
Cantor's choice.
Whoa! Chazan Allen, what would you like to hear? All right, in honor of you.
It's got to have the oys in it. Okay.
Yismechu v'malichutecha shoymare 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 Shabbat v'koreh oneg Shabbat Shabbat. Yismechu v'malichutecha v'shomre shomre shomre Shabbat v'koreh oneg Shabbat. Mikadashei Shvi Shabbat Shabbat Kulam Yisbehu Ve'itangu B'tuvecha Shabbat 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 Shabbat, Shabbat, Yismechu v'malichutecha, shoymere, shoymere, shoymere Shabbat v'koreh, oneg Shabbat, Rabbi. Yismechu v'malichutecha, shoymere, shoymere, shoymere Shabbat. V'koreh oneg Shabbat.
That was a little over the top, don't you think? But made it happier, so go for it, Cantor. Let's continue with a prayer for peace and well-being. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, eternal source of peace, and enable our people Israel to be its messenger to all the world. Bless our country that it may ever be a pursuer of peace and its advocate in the Council of Nations. May contentment and peace and health reign within our borders, happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and harmony among the inhabitants of all lands. Plant virtue in every soul, and may our love for you hallow every home and every heart. We praise you, O God, giver of peace. Amen.
Amen. Ose shalom, shalom bin Rama, Uyase shalom aleinu.
Start that over.
Ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen. Ose shalom, shalom Amen. Uyase shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Ve'al kol Yisrael, amen.
And as you can tell, we've been practicing this morning and night to make sure that we have everything exactly right. And
But we
judge for
wanted
yourself
to,
how it's going.
But the shout out to Albert, who was so kind to take the time to prepare and practice and record and send some tracks. And we'll also get to hear Albert accompanying us in the Mishaberach a little bit later. Techno wizards we're not, but just like all of you, our kavanah is strong, our intention. And we hope that you could sing and pray a little bit for peace along with that. Thank you, Albert, so much.
Yes, thanks, Albert. Well, yes, we are celebrating Yom Haatzmaut, 72 years in the life of the nation-state of Israel. And if you were around 80 years ago and somebody were to tell you that there will be a Jewish state and it will be vibrant and successful and filled with nearly 10 million people, most of whom are Jews, if you had been told that 80 years ago, you would have thought it was a dream or a bubamaisa, because, of course, those were during the days of the Second World War, and if anything, Jewish spirits were at their very lowest. And yet here we are, the state established in 1948, as I mentioned, in May of that year, and 72 years. Every year when I speak about Yom Haatzmaut, I tend to speak about the accomplishments of the state, of which there are so many. Multiple universities and institutions of higher learning, of course, unbelievable technology which virtually leads the world and has brought to the world so many inventions and technological phenomena that we could hardly count them all. In fact, Israel has been called Startup Nation. There's a book by that title, incidentally. And along with it, they've managed to absorb millions of immigrants from dozens of countries, all the way from Yemen in the 1950s to Ethiopia to, of course, the former Soviet Union, which saw 1 million or more Jews come to Israel and make it their home. There's so much that we could talk about, and in which we all justifiably have great pride. Even though we're not Israelis ourselves, many of us have taken an active role, whether economically or politically, in doing our best to make sure that Israel stays strong. And not to be neglected is the incredible strength and determination of the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, that no matter what are there to protect Jewish lives, and beyond that, to protect Jews all around the world. Having said that, rather than rattling off a list of great accomplishments, which I could easily do and would take hours, I thought I would share something a little different with you today, the human side of Israel. Those of us that have spent some time there know that it's not exactly like visiting any other country. Of course, it's Jewish, that much we know. But there is a certain feeling that, in a way, in many ways, Israel is like a family, like a village. And we're reminded of this over and over again, just walking the streets or encountering strangers along the way. Well, I came across a lovely little memoir written by a young woman whose name is Talia Wolf, who made Aliyah, that is, she moved to Israel permanently about 4 years ago. And she's a lawyer and an Orthodox Jewish woman, by the way. And she came up with actually 72 little stories about life in Israel on a daily basis. Relax, I'm not going to read all 72, but I have some really good ones I thought I would share with you. They're all brief. She starts this way. A couple from Ashdod took their daughter to Jerusalem for a bat mitzvah night at the Western Wall, the Kotel. And then they sat together in a little cafe in the old city. The waitress heard that they were there for the bat mitzvah, took an interest, asked them some questions, took their orders, and then she urged them to order some different things and maybe even a special dessert. And when they asked for the check, the family received a note which said very simply, "We are so happy to have you here. May you raise your daughter with nachas, happiness, and personal and national peace. Mazel tov and joy, and P.S. We'll take care of the bill." I leave that to your own judgment.
Mazel tov.
Well, moving on, this is a little bit about the coronavirus. At the start of the corona outbreak, the president of Israel, Rivlin, read to children on Facebook for a whole hour to help them and their parents get through this. And as she says, that's amazing, and it was super cute for the president of the state to take such a personal interest, not just in the adults, but especially in the kids. Here's what's happening these days. Apartment buildings are creating WhatsApp groups in order to help each other if they need anything, especially those with children or grandparents. Something that happens all the time in Israel. People are always willing to help entertain or hold your baby if you need two hands to accomplish something, or even one hand. Or if you just have a cute baby, or even if you don't have such a cute baby, Israelis love babies. They certainly do. And they are prolific, I should add. A bit about the workplace. Bosses aren't just bosses here, and coworkers aren't just coworkers. They give you advice on how to live your life, how many children you should have. They give you rides home, ask how they can help, and it's all legit out of love. We aren't used to it, but it really is that way. It doesn't mean that you have to listen or agree. You just have to smile and to nod. In Israel, if you spend a little time there, you will find that you will become friendly with the cashier at your local grocery store, or makolet as it's called. So much so that if one of you hasn't seen the other in a while, you'll get concerned. You'll also learn about their families, tell them about each of your children, and share photos. All true. If you're pregnant, most of the time people will let you cut in line at the grocery store and let you have a seat on the bus, quickly followed by a mazel tov, wishes with a huge smile on their face for what is about to occur in your life. This is about this year. During Pesach this year, when we were all basically in lockdown and people were complaining nonstop about not being able to be with their family for the holiday, the whole country put their frustrations aside, stood near the windows, and on their balconies, their mirpeset, they sang together, Ma nishtana, how is this night different from all others? Use your imagination. Israel is the place where bus drivers will park their buses in order to help elderly passengers climb the steps. Israel is also the place where the drivers will remind them where their stop is and help tell the rider where they need to go. And of course, Israel is a place where, if the driver is new to the route, the passengers will help them with the Israeli invention known as Waze. Here's something you may not know. Israeli banknotes are marked in Braille. Need we say more? When Israel declared its statehood in 1948, its population was 806,000. And as of Yom Haatzmaut 2020, Israel's population now totals 9.19 million, including Jews, Muslims, Christians, Druze, Baha'i, and 76 other ethnicities who all call Israel their home. Hebrew. Hebrew is one of the two official languages of Israel, the other being Arabic, and is actually the only dead language ever to be revived and spoken today by an entire nation. In Israel, history is more immediate than anywhere else. When you talk to your co-worker, you may find out that her parents met in the Polish underground and married in the forest before they immigrated to Israel. And when you talk to moms of preschool friends, you may find out that one of them came to Israel from Iran in the 1980s. Never assume anyone's history or what they've been through, be'emet, in truth. Over the decades, Israel has assisted so many countries when they're in time of need that they've really almost lost track of them. But there are over 20, including Rwanda, India, Mexico, Congo, Chad, Sudan, Malawi, and we could continue. In fact, even today, as countries around the world are struggling with the coronavirus, Israel is finding ways to help. This is about a day which occurred just 2 days ago. It is called Yom Haatzmaut, which is the Day of Remembrance, which is the day on which Israel pauses to remember those who have been lost in conflicts in defense of the land of Israel. Only in Israel, on Yom Haatzmaut, the Day of Remembrance for those who have lost their lives, do flower shops offer free flowers for all grieving families who have lost their loved ones, whether recently or long ago. In Israel, everyone is family. And even if you don't have a living grandparent, you can get on the bus and be adopted by one. She will then call you, she will check on you, she will practice your Hebrew with you, and give you all the advice you didn't realize you were missing. Oy. Israelis don't just say that kids are important. If a co-worker or a boss gets a text or a call that the child needs to be picked up, they can leave in the middle of the day to get them and no one will blink an eye. In fact, they can even bring the kids back to work if they need to, and everybody will be joyful to have a visitor. Israel is one of the only places where if you want to break the rules of kashrut, you actually have to make an effort to do so. If you walk into a non-kosher restaurant or market wearing a kippah or appearing to be traditional, they will proactively tell you that they do not have a kosher certificate so that you wouldn't be likely to make a mistake. Money isn't the issue, respect is. One of the few last ones. We don't care if you're Jewish or not. You will still be invited and welcomed with open arms to almost any intimate Shabbat dinner in almost anyone's home. One or two more. You never have to use vacation days to take off for the Jewish holidays. And if you want, even if you're not religious, you can take off Shabbat and unplug, and no one will get insulted if you do not return their text until Shabbat is over. On Yom Haatzmaut, which I mentioned a few moments ago, everyone stops at the sound of the sirens, children and adults alike. They pull over on the highway, get out of their cars, stand in their pajamas at their homes, put down their coffees, and rise in solidarity with the rest of the country, remembering those who have died so that we can live as Jews in this beautiful, varied country. And she concludes with this one personal remark coming directly from her heart, no doubt. Israel is my country. For all the above reasons and much more, I love this country. I love the people. I love the views. I love the food. I love the attitude. I love how we care about ourselves and others. And I love that my kids are Israeli. Israel is not always the easiest place to live, but it is my land and my country, and these are my people. Pretty terrific, don't you think? Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Let's sing together Hatikva. Kolot balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homiya ulfatei mizrach kadima ayin Zion Sophia Odo avdo tikvateinu Hatikva shnot alpayim Liotam chofshi be'artzeinu Be'eretz Zion Yerushalayim Liotam chofshi be'artzeinu Be'eretz Zion Yerushalayim. I want to share with you two little tunes that represent the land of Israel, the historical land. And the first is the time period known as Yeshuv, the Yeshuv, which literally means settling down, calming down. And that was the period before the establishment of the State of Israel. It was the time of the Chalutzim, after the fall of the Ottoman Empire, the pioneers, the early workers of the land, the idealists, and their songs reflect their hope, hard work, determination, savlanut, as Rabbi talked about last week, having patience, and also their songs reflect a love for the land itself, the beauty of the land. And this tune is known as Lamidbar. To the desert, up to the Bamidbar we'll go. And it talks about early on in the early 20th century, the image still of the caravan, of the camels. And then it was also set to a text, 1920s or so, singing the praises of the new settlement, the new town of Tel Aviv. So here we go. The tune, the composer, and the texts are anonymous. So that means we make them our own. All right, I need my glasses for this. Tel Aviv, עיר יהודית שכולה ישראל, יחיו בה גם העשיר וגם הפועל. טוב לחיות בתל אביב לארץ ישראל. טוב לחיות בתל אביב בארץ ישראל. לי 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 שבחו והודו תל אביב, החביבה לנו מכל חביב, אושר ועונג מסביב. תל אביב, תל אביב, עיר יהודית שכולה לישראל. תל אביב, תל אביב, עיר יהודית שכולה ישראל. למדבר סעינו על הבישות גמלים, על צוואריכם יצלצלו, פה ההמונים גדולים. סעינו, סעינו, למדבר סעינו, 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 למדבר סעינו. And the other tune is contemporary, and it talks about the hope and the desire for peace, for shalom. Shalom and salam. And the message is simple. Od yavo, it's a song of hope. Od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom. Yes, yes, how much the more so we know it will come. Peace, peace upon all people who dwell in this land peacefully together. Do you know Salam?
No, I don't.
You don't? Okay, do I need the drum for this? Yavo shalom aleinu, ol yavo shalom aleinu, yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Yavo shalom aleinu, ol yavo shalom aleinu, yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Salam, shalom, shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Shalom, salam. Yavo shalom aleinu, oh yavo shalom aleinu, yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Yavo shalom aleinu, yavo shalom aleinu, yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam, ve'al kulam. Shalom, shalom.
We'll turn now to the concluding part of our service. At this time, we like to offer our prayers for those who are ill, both those that are known to us as well as the many others who are struggling just to preserve their lives at this time. And so let's join together in the Misha Beirach in just a moment.
שברח אמותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. מי שברח אמותינו מקור הברכה Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
As we're about to recite Kaddish, we remember these yahrzeits this week in our synagogue. We begin by offering our condolences to Barbara Skolnick and her family, the friends, the Clarks, Eismans, and Beverly Saffron, on the loss of Barry, who was their family member and their very good friend. And the yahrzeits for this week are, well, Lois Gerber remembers Rebecca Gerber, Pearl Friedman remembers David Scharfman, Linda Hoffman remembers Bessie Slavin, Neil Clark remembers Jenny Clark, Dottie Missy remembers Rebecca Albo, Beverly Saffron remembers Thea Lehman, and our Temple family remembers Harry Goldman, Helen Brown, and Fred Gordon. In their memories, as well as in the memory of all of our dear ones that we've lost in years gone by, we join in the Kaddish.
And also, those, even though we may not know their names, all those who have not survived the COVID virus in our country and around the world. Our hearts are with their families.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah b'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayei chon uvyomei chon uv'chayei dechal Beit Yisrael ba'agola uvizman kari vimru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach li'olam ulamei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'po'ar v'tromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei v'kudesha b'richu le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav Hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, vimru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and bring comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen.
Oseh shalom b'imromav, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru, imeru, amen.
And before we conclude with our final song, seems like a good moment to wish someone very special in our congregation a happy birthday, and that's Neil Clark.
So, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. And many more. Happy birthday, Neil, and to everyone else who has celebrated their birthday in April. Today's May 1st and upcoming in the new month. Let us know, and we will make a little special birthday celebration for all our April and May celebrants next week. And also next week will be our Shabbat and Mother's Day celebration. And so we would like to ask that for those who are inclined towards poetry or a bit of memoir about your mom or your grandma or your great-grandma, the matriarchs in your family, or maybe something if you have a kid about you as a mother, please send them to us. Please email so we can include a little bit. And Rabbi, Yerushalayim Shel Zahav, do you say a word?
No, it's the virtual second national anthem of Israel, composed by Naomi Shemer of blessed memory, and has been sung in many countries, played by countless musicians, and actually sung in multiple languages as well. It really is a poetic vision of the city of Jerusalem. Yerushalayim Shel Zahav. One moment, please. I missed my cue completely. I didn't realize what I was supposed to do, but as I said, we have multiple devices here today. That's part of the problem. So this is worth waiting for. So just feel free to visit among yourselves.
Well, I'm going to give you the words in case you don't remember, or you never learned it, or you don't have the tune in front of you. So the words are Yerushalayim Shel Zahav, V'Shel Nechoshet B'Shel Or, Halo Lechol Shiraich Ani Kinor. Jerusalem of Zahav, of gold, and of bronze, and of ore, of light. Halo Lechol, am I not your harp? Am I not the harp for all of your songs? I will sing to you, Jerusalem, Jerusalem of gold.
Well, I wish I could play it for you on my iPad, but I don't seem to be able to, so we're just going to have to sing it without accompaniment.
אוויר הרים צלול כיין, וריח אורנים. נישא ברוח הארבעים, עם כל פעמונים. ובתרדמת אילן באבן, שבויה וחלומה. העיר אשר ברד יושבת, ובליבה חומה. ירושלים של זהב, ושל נחושת, ושל אור גבאי, הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור. ירושלים של זהב, ושל נחושת, ושל אור, הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור. We wish you a good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom, a good week ahead. Stay well, health, strength, and hope. We're thinking of you all. We miss you. And happy birthday to Eretz Yisrael. To Eretz Yisrael. Yom Huledet Sameach.